Let us begin with a doxology to be led by Margaret D. Lanuza, Casey Diana M. Manuel, Kurt Jeric B. Canlas, Matthew Antonio M. Ramos, and Avelino A. Holgado. It will be followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem to be conducted by Juliana Maxine C. Dano.
My Jesus, my Savior, Lord, there is none like you. All of my days, I want to praise the wonders of your mighty love. My comfort, my shelter, tower of refuge and strength, let every breath, all that I am, never cease to worship you. Shout to the Lord of the earth, let us sing. Power and majesty, praise to the King. Mountains bow down and seas will roar at the sound of your name. I sing for joy at the work of your hands. Forever I love you, forever I'll stand. Nothing compares to the promise I have in you. My Jesus, my Savior, Lord, there is none like you. All of my days, I want to praise the wonders of your mighty love. My comfort, my shelter, tower of refuge and strength, let every breath, all that I am, never cease to worship you. Shout to the Lord of the earth, let us sing. Power and
Ilagay natin ang ating kanang kamay sa kaliwang dibdib.
Good morning, everyone. Once again, we welcome you to the 6th Junior High School Completion Ceremonies of Philippine Women's University, Jose Abad Santos Memorial School. It is our pleasure to welcome you in this event that celebrates the life and achievements of the grade 10 batch in this current school year.
We are more than glad to share what we've been through in the school we love the best. We are thankful to all of you for being here. Now, to formally open this great occasion, let us listen to what we can expect in our ceremony today. To introduce the men and women who will deliver inspiring words, ladies and gentlemen, let us give a round of applause to Mr. Luis Manuel A. Borja.
Isn't it a great day today? Today marks a very important milestone in our lives, our moving up ceremony. Looking back on what we were and what we used to be, it's just fitting for us to learn from the good things and the bad, the sad and happy moments as a student. Juan Alessandro de Hoya will be sharing with us his inside story as a junior high school student. Intriguing, isn't it? I do believe he has highlighted some of the memorable moments in JASMS. I can't wait to hear what he has to say. Some of us are looking forward to reaching a goal someday. What do you think? Will we be able to attain our dreams? Let's see. Matthew Antonio Ramos will be giving us a batch prophecy, where we get to hear who we will become in, let's say, 20 or more years from now. To introduce our next guest speaker, we have our grade 10 batch president, Martina Fiona Protasio. We have a lot to be thankful for. It is only fitting that we stop and ponder to whom we shall be thankful to. Let us listen to Bernice Ann Laxton, who will say the Pasasalamat on behalf of the grade 10 batch 2020 to 2021.
My personal journey to junior high school. Rabindranath Tagore once quoted, "Do not limit a child's learning, for he was born in another time." He believed then that each child is born with a unique imprint. They have their own purpose. They bring with them their own learning styles, and they express their gifts and abilities, and align their needs, expand, grow, and become someone successful. And these significant thoughts are the ones that I personally experienced in what I call my own personal journey in JASMS. I was here ever since I was in junior kindergarten, and I cannot stop thinking about how long I've been here. I do certainly miss how JASMS was, with a huge expanse where students can run and enjoy the sunlight, and sometimes play in the water puddles whenever rain stops. It is a place where we could learn to be free. Our old campus reflects how we are connected to our physical learning environment. The EDSA campus is a place where we celebrate learning. We always hold activities in our big schoolyard. Our United Nations celebration and burning of war toys was among the things I've seen done in our former campus. I learned that war toys are perceived to be toys that represent violent or aggressive behavior, rather than being a beneficial tool for a child's development. One of the most enjoyable moments I could recall is the school fair. Oh, the school fair. This whole week's event, held inside these vast sprawls of the campus, brings us up to our feet. As an elementary student at the time, all I did was have fun running around with my classmates and enjoying the rides and inflatables. Aside from the fair, the annual English night is also the most anticipated event in the campus. Labeled as the best attractions in the school each November. Everyone gets to gather in the basketball court and watch the play prepared by our older brothers and sisters in the high school area. I was captivated by the lights, the sounds, costumes, and the acting. Thus, gave birth to my own personal idea of what creativity looks like. I imagined myself experiencing all these in our big campus back then. I thought I could, but to my surprise, all of us needed to say our goodbyes to our 62-year-old JASMS campus, and eventually welcome ourselves to our current home in Congressional Avenue, where the campus lives since 2017. Our new campus may not have the same wide open schoolyard, but still has a place for students to carry on what they do best, which is learning by doing. We get to learn from new and old things, good and bad habits. One example of how I learned it is that I had to do my best to wake up early and not sleep through my alarms, because my school is no longer a short-foot ride, but a long bus ride. JASMS has done and is continuously doing its best to stay true to its traditions. The ones that I simply dream of doing when I was in elementary were still made possible as I went off to my junior high school journey. Although I did not get the experience to participate in the English night play on what I had imagined of, we still got to showcase our talents in our multipurpose gym. It seemed easy when I got to see the high school students do it before, but I never knew that doing it in actuality would be a tedious task. I would witness some classmates fight over some trivial things brought by pressure. Misunderstanding starts brewing in the midst of the hustle and bustle. Teachers would give us a mouthful if we don't do what we needed to do. But after all these struggles, we get to see the successful outcome of our hard works. And indeed, it was truly rewarding. Sports Fest was not as grand as when we were still in the old campus, but we get to mingle with students from other sections and levels as a team. I get to interact with them and get to know them better. I also get to know students with special needs, with exceptional talents they have. In school, you get to meet people from all walks of life. People with different backgrounds, lifestyle, characteristics, and talents among others. It is truly fun getting to know each and every one of them. It is an amazing experience once you get to know them. I mean, really know them. By doing so, you understood more of what diversity means. I knew further that each of us have our own learning styles and that being unique is okay. I learned to appreciate the individuality of each of my classmates. Because, believe me, we all have our own perks and tweaks. My junior high school life has been pretty normal until the pandemic broke out. It started in early 2020, and ever since then we were required to stay home. Doing work and projects are not too different, but events are executed quite differently. There's something about physically going to class that is much more preferable. And I do hope this pandemic will end soon. It is not often I get to deliver a speech. I do not have the confidence to speak in front of many people. Nevertheless, stepping outside your comfort zone is sometimes a good thing. It is an opportunity to get to experience and learn what to do in certain situations. 12 years is a very long time, and yet I'm quite fascinated for two particular reasons. First is that I'm about to move up to the next stage with my classmates. And second is that the journey that I went through as an individual and as a learner had gone beyond of what I had expected. All of which is what I owe to that big schoolyard in our old campus. I'm hopeful that the next stage of our life, the senior high school, will be a successful one. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, my dear friend, for those gracious words. What a beautiful insight of how life JASMS has been.
Today, the members of the Grade 10 batch will receive awards for their exceptional loyalty in JASMs over the past year of their stay here. May we call on our basic education principal, Mrs. Diana Cynthia G. Gutierrez, who will cite the following awards.
Thank you very much to our dear principal, Miss Diane, for handing us the awards. Now, Regine, please help me answer this question. Is it possible to count a million dreams?
Whoa, that is too huge to count, Josh, because inside, in every piece of it, is the goals, aspiration, and hopes that keep us moving forward, and most importantly, keep us alive.
To help you find out what we're talking about, let us listen and imagine to A Million Dreams from the Greatest Showman soundtrack.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me that I call my own.
Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home.
They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams, it's all it's gonna take.
Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day.
They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. I don't care if they call us crazy. We'll run away to a world that we design.
Every night I lie, write it all up in my head. A million dreams will keep me awake.
I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
However big, however small, let me be a part of it all. Share your dreams with me. You may be right, you may be wrong, but say that you'll bring me along to the world you see, to the world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see.
Every night I lie in bed, brightest colors fill my head.
A million dreams are keeping me awake. A million dreams, a million dreams. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams, it's all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
For the world we're gonna make.
Thank you, my dear classmates, for that wonderful song. Thank you for reminding us that however big, however small, these are all still dreams that you and I will all have to make.
Now, let us proceed to the presentation of the junior high school completers to the university president. This will be followed by distribution of awards for the grade 10's exceptional contribution and performance in their various aspects of life in JASMS this past year.
May we call on once more our basic education principal, Mrs. Diana Cynthia G. Gutierrez, and as she cites the following recognitions. She will be joined by our dear class advisors, Miss Abigail R. Agustin and Mrs. Fe Eliza J. Ramos.
May I request the grade 10 class to please rise.
To our dear University President, President Marco Benitez, today I have the honor to present to you the candidates for our Moving Up ceremony. They have successfully completed the academic requirements and developed the proficiencies required in their junior high school life. As prescribed by the Department of Education, they are now ready to proceed to senior high school level.
Upon the recommendation of your teachers and principal, and by the authority vested upon me by the Board of Trustees of PWU and by the Department of Education, I now declare you completers of junior high school. Thus, I will now present your certificates that state that you have satisfactorily completed the requirements for the junior high school program. Congratulations.
Abang Matthew Elijah S.
With honors.
Siya ay kinikilala dahil sa kanyang husay sa pagbabahagi at pagpapahayag ng sariling opinyon at ng saloobin sa talakayan sa mga kontemporaryong issue. Siya ay kinikilala dahil sa pagpapamalas ng aktibong pakikilahok at kakayahang makapagbahagi ng saloobin sa talakayan sa mga akdang tinatalakay sa klase sa Filipino. He is cited for his active participation in music editing and participating in artistic discussions in music classes. He is cited for his unique skills in writing. His writing skills open an avenue for a clear exchange and expression of ideas and related to the questions and ideas of philosophy and human existence.
Arellano Julia Francesca.
Cited for her talent in dancing, as shown in scouting and other classroom activities that require dancing.
Borja Luis Manuel A.
Cited for his excellence in the use of the English language for oral communication.
Canlas Kurt Jerick B.
Cited for being confident and outspoken. He is able to speak out his mind in class. His happy disposition has been a positive influence to all.
Shinhen Adrian Joseph E.
With honors.
He is cited for his exemplary skills in writing. He is able to express his thoughts in accordance with the technical and creative standards of this macro skill, without compromising the simplicity and clarity of his ideas. He is cited for consistently and dutifully carrying out the vision and mission of JASMS and following the rules and regulations of the school, such as wearing proper school uniform. He is cited for his congeniality. He is able to befriend everybody, whether young or old. He is able to make classmates and friends welcome all the time.
Cinco Bettina D.
She is cited for being polite and respectful. She never forgets to give a warm smile to everybody she sees. She is a keen follower of school rules and regulations.
Dialo Seth Gabriel F.
Cited for the presentation in scouting, which showed creativity and uniqueness in the use of technical knowledge.
Dano Juliana Maxine C.
With honors.
Siya ay kinikilala dahil sa malalim na paglalahad at pagbibigay ng mga makabuluhang interpretasyon sa iba't ibang paksa sa mga isyung panlipunan na tinatalakay sa klase. Siya ay kinikilala dahil sa kanyang malikhaing paraan ng pagbabahagi ng kaalaman sa mga paksang tinatalakay gamit ang makabagong teknolohiya sa individual at pangkatang gawain sa klase ng Filipino. She is cited for exhibiting good leadership skills and initiating class activities in all subjects. She is also able to push classmates to perform and finish tasks at hand. She is cited for her creativity in music and presentations, particularly in recorded performances. She is cited for her excellence in and active participation in oral communication class. She exudes confidence in sharing concepts and ideas in class that cultivate meaningful discourse and understanding. She is cited for displaying outstanding passion in leading her group to perform a high effort on their dance presentation program. She is also a member of the volleyball varsity team since grade 7 and the basketball varsity team from grade 4 to 6.
De Guzman, Raven, Laika, M.
with honors.
Siya ay kinikilala dahil sa galing sa pagsasalaysay at pagbabahagi ng mga napapanahong issue. Siya ay kinikilala dahil sa pagpapamalas ng aktibong pakikilahok sa mga talakayan at kakayahang pangunahan ang klase sa mga pangkatang gawain sa Filipino. She is cited for exhibiting good leadership skills and initiating class activities in all subjects. She is also able to push classmates to perform and finish tasks at hand. She is cited for her initiative in using learned skills to create thought-provoking multimedia art for consistently and creatively conveying the different assigned themes in her work. She is cited for her admirable skills in writing. She is able to formulate pieces of writing with the observance of language mechanics without compromising the message she wants to convey. She is cited for her patience and for being a companion to her classmates and friends.
De Hoya, Juan Alessandro P.
with honors.
He is cited for his valuable help in the technical aspect of the numerous video presentations of the class, which made them all exemplary. He is cited for his exemplary talent in music composition and his skills in music production. His music creativity is overflowing.
Gamad, Rowan Glenn G.
She is cited for her initiative in using learned skills to create thought-provoking multimedia art and for the creative use of self-expression and emotion in her artwork.
Holgado, Avelino A.
with honors.
He has exhibited valuable help in technical assistance in performance and video presentations of the class, which made the output exemplary. He is cited for his friendly attitude. He is a friend to all and is always there to give a helping hand to his friends and classmates.
Harjo, Cody, Angelo, Y.
with honors.
He has exhibited valuable help in technical assistance in performances and video presentations of the class, which made the output of his class exemplary. He is cited for his optimism through showing courtesy and obedience to his teachers and peers, and working enthusiastically in all given school works and activities.
Lacson, Bernice, and Dean.
with honors.
She is cited for her skill in integrating the different mathematical principles with the field of art. She is cited for her initiative in using learned skills to create thought-provoking multimedia art and for her creativity in the use of alternative mediums in her work. Siya ay kinikilala dahil sa kanyang galing sa pagsulat sa Filipino, na ibabahagi niya ang kanyang saloobin sa panulat gamit ang kanyang mayamang talasalitaan, estilo at malikhaing paraan na ipinamalas niya sa klase ng Filipino. She is cited for her exemplary skills in writing. She has presented the ability to utilize language in both of its technical and creative aspects, thus leaving a lasting impression of clarity and sound delivery of the message she aims to bring. She is cited for consciously expressing her morals, ideals, and values, and for being a role model in making intelligent and morally upright decisions. She is cited for displaying concern and outstanding effort in leading her group to produce a good quality performance during their disc dancing presentation. She is also involved in the varsity program in the sports of volleyball.
Lanuza, Margaret, D.
with honors.
She is cited for her initiative in using learned skills to create thought-provoking multimedia art and for her creative use of colors and materials in her work. She is cited for her excellence in oral communication and active participation. She exudes confidence in sharing concepts and ideas in class that cultivate meaningful discourse and understanding. She is cited for conscientiously expressing her morals, ideals, and values, and for being a role model in making intelligent and morally upright decisions. She is cited for consistently and dutifully carrying out the vision and mission of JASMS and following the school rules and regulations of the school.
D. Cassius Win, F.
Is cited for consistently and dutifully carrying out the vision and mission of JASMS and following the school rules and regulations of the school. Cited for being a confident online learner, consistently demonstrating an understanding of how to use online platform during the teaching and learning process and would attend Google Meet classes with a smile on his face.
Lee Regine Sue Wins.
with honors.
Siya ay kinikilala dahil sa pagbibigay ng malalim na pag-uunawa at makabuluhang opinyon sa mga kontemporaryong issue na tinatalakay. She is cited for her skills in creating and applying mathematical principles with the field of art. Siya ay kinikilala dahil sa pagpapamalas ng aktibong pakikilahok at kakayahang makapagbahagi ng saloobin sa talakayan at mga individual at pangkatang gawain sa klase sa Filipino. Cited for her proficiency in the field of TLE. She is cited for her initiative in using learned skills to create thought-provoking multimedia art and for effectively explaining the meaning and significance of her work. She is cited for her excellence in oral communication and active participation in class. She exudes confidence in sharing concepts and ideas in class that cultivate meaningful discourse and understanding. She is cited for her outstanding creativity as the choreographer, which brought about a superb dance movement of their social disc dancing activity.
Legaspi Isaac Samuel J.
He has exhibited valuable help in technical assistance in performances and video presentations of the class, which made the output of his class exemplary.
Lim Jillian Valerie C.T.
with honors.
She is cited for her initiative in using learned skills to create thought-provoking multimedia art and for the use of original and unique ideas in the elements of her work. She is cited for her remarkable presentation and performance in music and her leadership in the Glee Club. She is cited for her original approach in writing, especially in the aspect of argumentation. She confidently states her disposition on the topics presented before her, with the observance of the skills and techniques set by this form of writing. She is cited for consistently and dutifully carrying out the vision and mission of JASMS and following the school's rules and regulations.
Lumibao Christopher Jr. L.
He is cited for consistently and dutifully carrying out the vision and mission of JASMS and in following the school's rules and regulations.
Manuel Casey Diana M.
She is cited for her remarkable performance as a young musician and her expression of interest in the subject by presenting her instrument skills. She is cited for her ability to conduct a detailed research and delivering an exceptional presentation on the X-linked dystonia Parkinsonism genetic disorder affecting Filipino male residents of Panay Island during the Science Day celebration. She is cited for her enthusiasm and interest in relating the background history of European literature through her sharing of personal travels to European country. She is cited for consistently and dutifully carrying out the vision and mission of JASMS and following its schools, rules, and regulations.
Naraha Miguel Luis G.
For his ability to conduct a detailed research and delivering an exceptional presentation on the Ashkenazi Jew genetic disorder during the Science Day celebration. He is cited for his optimism and interest in relating Dante Alighieri's Inferno to real-life situations.
Pareha Kian Matthew I.
with honors.
He is cited for his excellence in oral communication and active participation. He exudes confidence in sharing concepts and ideas in class that cultivate meaningful discourse and understanding.
Pre Chauncey Gabriel D.
with honors.
He is cited for his optimism through showing courtesy and obedience to his teachers and peers, and working enthusiastically in any given schoolwork and activities.
Protasio Maria Martina Fiona C.
with honors.
She is cited for exhibiting good leadership skills and initiating class activities in all subjects. She is able to push classmates to perform and finish tasks at hand. She is cited for her initiative in using learned skills to create thought-provoking multimedia art and for effectively leading her class and school art activities. She is cited for her initiative in leading her class in music activities and is always at her best during musical presentations. She is cited for her excellence in oral communication and active participation in class. She exudes confidence in sharing concepts and ideas in class that cultivate meaningful discourse and understanding. She has exhibited valuable help in technical assistance in performances and video presentations of the class, which made the output of their class exemplary. She is cited for her outstanding display of effort in leading her class in all the activities in physical education. She is the overall leading coordinating committee head in charge of the different activities in PE. She also helped in editing their class presentation for the social disc dancing activity.
Ramos Matthew Antonio M.
with high honors.
Siya ay kinikilala dahil sa kanyang husay na ipinamalas sa pag-unawa at pagbabahagi ng mga kaalaman at opinyon sa kontemporaryong issue. He is cited for his demonstration of skills in creating and applying mathematical principle in the field of arts. He is cited for his commendable skills in reasoning, synthesizing, and analyzing scientific ideas in the field of physics, particularly in optics and electromagnetism. Siya ay kinikilala sa klase sa Filipino dahil sa kanyang husay sa pagpapahayag ng saloobin sa mga paksang tinatalakay sa pamamagitan ng pagsulat at pagsasalita at sa kanyang pagiging malikhain at masining na paraan ng paggawa ng proyekto na ipinakita niya noong Buwan ng Wika at sa comic strip na ginamit niya sa pag-ulat ng ilang mga kabanata sa El Filibusterismo. He is cited for demonstrating creativity, imagination, and talent in class artwork projects, for his effective use of illustration talent to make effective and impactful work. He is cited for his active participation and meaningful insights in the subject topics, as well as his being helpful to his classmates when it comes to musical presentations. He is cited for his unparalleled mastery of the English language. He is a living demonstration of the fulfillment of the objectives set by the course, as he possesses the utmost ability to share his significant thoughts and relevant ideas across various macro skills such as listening, viewing, reading, speaking, and writing. He has exhibited valuable help in technical assistance in performances and video presentations of the class, which made the output of his class exemplary. He is cited for his diligence in doing his work, likewise in his help in editing the social disc dancing presentation.
Revilla Joshua Ferdinand A.
with honors.
Siya ay kinikilala sa husay sa pagsulat at pagsasalaysay ng mga isyung panlipunan. Siya ay kinikilala rin dahil sa pagpapamalas ng aktibong pakikilahok at kakayahang makapagbahagi ng makabuluhang kaalaman sa talakayan at mga gawain sa klase sa Filipino. He is cited for his skills in writing, as he shows flexibility and mastery of style, form, and approach in composing various essays.
Sandoval Eric Lorenzo R.
He is cited for consistently and dutifully carrying out the vision and mission of JASMS and following the school's rules and regulation. He is cited for his optimism through showing courtesy and obedience to his teachers and peers, and working enthusiastically in any given schoolwork and activity.
Soriano Joaquin Inigo S.
Siya ay kinikilala dahil sa kakayahang makapagbahagi ng makabuluhang opinyon tungkol sa mga isyung panlipunan. He is cited for his excellence in oral communication and active participation in class. His responses to each question related to world literature reflect the importance of values and morality to everyday living and how literature must epitomize these things.
Villafuente Roselier C.
Cited for her ability to do research and exceptional presentation on the kuru, a very rare, incurable, and fatal neurodegenerative disorder common among the 4 people of Papua New Guinea during the Science Day celebration.
Thank you very much, Mr. Benitez, Mrs. Gutierrez, and to our dear class advisors. Indeed, these awards will remind us of our junior high school days, especially the times inside the classroom where we learned while having fun at the same time.
And yet, we owe it to our dear teachers who sacrificed everything just for us to learn new things and great things. With that, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
At this point, let us listen to our speaker for his inspiring message to the grade 10 students, and he will be introduced by Ms. Maria Martina Fiona C. Protasio.
Good morning. It is an honor to introduce to you the man who is very candid about himself. From what I have gathered from the Patriots radio, he is a man who dreams to become a singer, a talent that he wishes he had. He wanted to become a professional basketball player too, but according to him, he does not have the height for it. Though he became an MVP basketball player during high school at Pirae Southridge School in Muntinlupa and was team captain of the same team. Despite not being a singer or a basketball player, I believe he has accomplished more than ever before. He earned his Bachelor of Science in Management Engineering at the Ateneo de Manila University and his Master's in Business Administration in the Ateneo Graduate School of Business. As a person who loves team sports, he believes that sports can build character to the challenges it offers, and working as part of a team, an amplification of what his parents taught on the importance of hard work. Not to mention persevering for your goals and having integrity in what you do, a mantra that he carried through from the Blue Eagles gym to the Patriots Paseo. Our guest speaker has been hands-on from the moment he was appointed as the highest university official. Without even a month or so, he was challenged by the onslaught of the COVID-19 pandemic. He never hesitated to listen to the needs and concerns of all of the members of the PWU community, from the students, faculty, and non-teaching personnel. He gave him continuous encouragement and would constantly check on each and every member of the PWU-JASMS community. Above all, he exemplified a selfless and humane form of leadership, a genuine team player in every sense of the word. He is like a doting father who would look after his children, pushing them to do great things and supporting them. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow completers, it is with great pride and joy to present to you our hardworking university president, President Marco Alfredo Moya Benitez.
Dr. Felina Young, University Chancellor and SVPAA, Executive Director, Teacher Remy Cruz, Principal Diane, Teacher Norman, our hardworking academic and level coordinators, faculty members, parents, and our dear students, Completers of grade 10, a pleasant day to all of you. Again, let me first thank the JASMS Quezon City leadership team and all those who worked hard to organize today's event. The current surge in COVID cases and the extension of MECQ in Metro Manila surely did not make the preparations any easier. We gather here today for your moving up ceremony as you transition from junior to senior high school. Despite the ongoing pandemic, there is something about this rite of passage for every student. A most important accomplishment that not even a global pandemic must be allowed to stop. Let's spend a few moments remembering what it was like those first few months of the lockdown, when all your classes had to shift online, when hastily your teachers and level coordinators had to set up your respective Google Classrooms and migrate all of their lessons online. Remember the struggle to adapt to attending classes in front of that computer or tablet or even mobile device, and days when the internet would be so intermittent or non-existent. You would have to make do with getting instructions through text or FB Messenger. Remember also how interactions you had with your classmates, an integral part of the JASMS education, would now be relocated onto Google Meet sessions, where problems with muting and unmuting and classmates with turned off videos made it a far cry from the real thing. These were just some of the many challenges you had to overcome in those initial months of the pandemic, when we, your administrators and teachers, admittedly were also still adjusting to the new normal. Not to say that those problems have entirely been resolved. There are still many instances when internet connectivity is weak or non-existent, or when our tablets or mobile devices do not permit us to effectively participate in both synchronous and asynchronous sessions. But we have learned to adjust, and these circumstances no longer become critical stressors, but simple obstacles that we have learned to deal with. A JASMS education is centered on the concept of problem-based experiential learning, or learning by doing, with a goal of forming autonomous individuals within the context of democratic group living. When you come to think of it, we all are in the midst of probably the greatest problem-based learning by doing experience we will face in our lifetime. In fact, just like you have been taught to think critically, creatively, and draw from your various experiences possible learnings that may apply to your current situation, we, your parents, teachers, and administrators, are all trying our best and drawing from our array of life experiences to deal with the immense challenges we face today. All the while, trying to live the values integral to PWU and JASMS: integrity and spirituality, family solidarity, empathy, kindness for one another, and an orientation towards working together for the good of the greater community. Remember, every experience, every failure or challenge that life throws at us, and you can be sure that there will be many, are opportunities to learn. And oftentimes, the greatest lessons are drawn from life's greatest challenges or traumas, such as this one. Mark my words, we will overcome this pandemic. And when that day comes, you will look back at this experience with renewed confidence that not only were you able to go through a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic at such a young age, but that you were able to better yourself and hopefully contributed to the improvement of your friends and family in the process. Whatever track you've decided to take for senior high school, I hope you chose the one that most suits your talents, fits your personality, and awakens your passion. Because surely you would want to spend the next 2 years pursuing something that motivates you to do your best. The fourth industrial revolution, the age of rapid digitization, artificial intelligence, machine learning, 3D printing, self-driving cars, and blockchain and crypto is upon us. A 2016 World Economic Forum jobs report stated that around 65% of children entering primary school today will ultimately end up working in completely new job types that don't yet exist. That is how rapid the pace of change has been and will continue to be. So while it is important to study for and acquire the skills that will make you successful in the real world today, remember that you also have to prepare yourself for what the real world may look like by the time you go out into it. Skills and values such as resilience, empathy and kindness, leadership, adaptability, perseverance, the ability to collaborate and work in teams, to think critically and creatively are just some of the values or quote unquote soft skills that employers look for beyond just the technical know how, because these are the ones that are quote unquote future proof and will allow a person to thrive regardless of the technology that is available. Similarly, this year was not just about achieving the learning outcomes required by DepEd. This year, we learned about resilience. Resilience is showing up for class despite being dropped multiple times because of a weak or intermittent connection, or despite being in quarantine or isolation, or worse, despite dealing with the death of a family member, relative, or loved one due to COVID. That is resilience. This year, we learned about empathy. Empathy is understanding what others are going through and sharing their feelings and experiences by being able to put yourself in their place. Empathy is helping out a fellow classmate who missed a lesson or activity because of no internet. It is behaving in class because you know that your teachers are having a hard enough time as it is. And it is being generous with your resources and possessions for a classmate in desperate need. That is empathy. We also learned about faith and acceptance. These mean recognizing that there is only so much that we can do, that it is okay to feel anxious, helpless, or depressed because you can't go out of the house, or a parent lost a job, or because we just don't know how to cope with everything that's going on. But we have to believe that this is part of a greater plan and that this too shall pass. This pandemic may have disconnected us physically, but I hope that it has led us to a deeper connection with our family, friends, classmates, and teachers, one that exceeds any physical divide. As you move on to senior high school, albeit still in the middle of a pandemic, let us continue to look at each day as an opportunity to better ourselves and make a positive contribution to the lives of the people around us. Remember your teachers who had previously taught one way all their lives, but learned to adapt for the sake of you, their students. Thank you, dear teachers, administrators, and staff, for your passion and dedication, without which this year would not have been possible. Remember your parents or guardians who, despite the extreme challenges brought about by the pandemic, persevered to make sure to provide you the opportunity to have a JASMS education. Let the next chapter of your lives be a tribute to them. Thank you, parents, for being our primary partner in the education of your children. This year is as much your success as it is theirs. Finally, as the PW hymn reminds us, wherever we may wander, wherever we may roam, let us never forget the lessons and values you learned here at PWU-JASMS. To be resilient, to have faith and learn acceptance, to have empathy, kindness, to work hard, respect others, seek the truth, enjoy the journey, and treat every experience as an opportunity to learn and become better human beings. Thank you and congratulations. We will see you all in August.
Once more, let us give our virtual applause to our university president for his words of encouragement. Amidst all the uncertainties we've encountered this school year due to this dreadful pandemic, you have truly inspired us to pursue our dreams and aspirations.
Now, please allow us to sing our hearts out as we share our stories to you with hearts wide open. This song is dedicated to all of the people that were with us through thick and thin and never stopped believing in us and motivating us to become the best version of ourselves.
Though distance have made us apart, each of you had made your own way to draw us closer into our hearts. So, please join us as we sing this timeless hymn of friendship and togetherness. This is Minsan by Eraserheads.
Minsan sa may kalayaan tayo'y nagkatagpuan. May mga sariling gimik at kanya-kanyang hangad sa buhay. Sa ilalim ng iisang bubong, ang sikretong ibinulong. Kahit na anong mangyari, kahit na saan ka man patungo. Kay bilis maglaho ng kahapon. Sana'y huwag kalimutan ang ating mga pinagsamahan. Kung sakaling ipitignan, laging iisipin na minsan tayo ay naging tulay na magkaibigan. Minsan ay parang wala nang bukas sa buhay natin, kailan hanggang sa magdamag na parang bang tayo'y mauubos sa ilalim ng ilog ng buwan. Mga tiyan natin walang laman, ngunit kahit na walang pera, ang bawat gabi anong masaya. Ngunit ngayon, kay bilis maglaho ng kahapon. Sana'y huwag kalimutan ang ating mga pinagsamahan. Kung sakaling ipitinay, laging iisipin na minsan tayo ay naging tunay na magkaibigan. Minsan ay hindi mo na alam ang nangyayari, kahit na anong gawin. Lahat ng bagay ay meron ng paraan. Dahil ngayon, tayo ay nilimot ng kahapon. Hindi na makipilitan, buhayin ang ating pinagsamahan. Kung sakaling mapadaan baka gawa'y aking tuwagan, dahil minsan tayo ay naging tunay na magkaibigan.
Once more, a big bravo to our classmates for that outstanding presentation.
Joshua, did you ever try to imagine what our lives would be 20 years from now?
Wow, looks like it's a difficult question to answer. Even I can't tell. Let's try to ask one of our batchmates. Who knows, he might even give us a hint.
Good idea. I'm so excited to hear what might be in store for us. So, without further ado, let us listen to the batch prophecy that will be delivered by Mr. Matthew Antonio M. Ramos.
A lot of things have changed since we completed junior high school 15 years ago. Nothing crazy, but not crazier than what we already are, obviously, and in a good way, of course. But the main difference is that in the year 2036, we would have better stories to tell. Let me tell you one of them. My life in France entails a life of the usual busy day of conferences after conferences. My great boss of the company where I work with gave me a break. Miracles do truly happen. I just love the way the French people speak. Literally, before I left, they said to me, Ne meurs pas du travail. Sounds fancy, don't you agree? But literally, that translates to, don't die from working. And as I got off the plane from France, I thought to myself that life is a hard day's work, but truthfully, I loved it. As I traveled past the old JASMS campus, now a bustling commercial area, it brought me back to the old times that JASMS had given me. As I was driving along the highway, I saw a tall skyscraper. It was like something from an old movie. It was taller than anything, and it shone so brightly. I went into the facility and asked the concierge who designed the building. She just pointed behind my back. My jaw just dropped. It was Chauncey Pre. He changed so much. It has really been a long time since we've seen each other. Looking at Chauncey and the building he has built, wow, so amazing. Chauncey then tells me that the building is not just a building, but it is also a city within a city. And then he worked with another classmate of ours, Cassius Lee, who is now a famous architect as well. He then guides me to an eco-friendly part of the city. The three of us grabbed a cup of coffee and then they told me that they made the cover of an architectural magazine a few months back. Of course, I congratulated them. After we parted ways, I decided that I wanted to go to the recording studio that we went to as a band together before. There was a long line of paparazzi there. I squeezed myself in, and then a tall man donned in a leather jacket and shades appeared before me. It was Matthew Ama! I yelled out, Tokayo! He turned around and came up to me. After doing a little bit of catching up, we jammed for a bit. I couldn't believe he was now the country's most successful solo artist. A knock made us look towards the door and another musician came into the picture, Sandro De Hoya. We all reunited and played together for the first time after all these years. These guys are way better than ever. Sandro then reached into his bag and brought out a magazine, and guess who made the cover of the Rolling Stones? It was Casey Manuel. She was described as the world's most captivating pianist after Helen Grimaud, and as I read in the article, the writer said that Casey turns her thrilling, deeply personal brand of music making to Brahms' first and second piano concertos, as she played with Bavarian Radio Symphony Orchestra in the Lucerne Festival. I was so astounded by her achievement. I am so proud of her. After we parted ways, I thought to myself that, this is one experience I would never exchange for anything for the rest of my life. It was truly refreshing. I then decided to go to the biggest mall in Southeast Asia, way bigger than the Mall of Asia. As I strolled through the doors, I see that there is an art museum in the mall's atrium. It was entitled, Masdan ng mga obra ng mga pinakamagagaling sa mundo, which meant to see the masterpieces of the best in the world. There were three people that had the most attention, Meg Lanuza, Enzo Sandoval, and Bettina Cinco. Oh my goodness! They were my classmates! Out of my excitement, I took out my phone and took selfies in front of them, and also in front of their works. I thought to myself that, the world would inevitably see their artistic prowess. Still undecided on what to do while in the mall, I took the elevator and pressed 7. On the 7th floor, I browsed through the television of previewed movies in the theater lobby. As I passed by one, I stopped and walked back until the featured film was there again. And there it was, directed by Cheska Arellano. That's not all. The storyboard and the concept art to build up the hype for the movie was made by none other than Gabi Dilo. And hold on to your seats. Their movie won an Oscar. Best Picture. Oh, and did I also mention that they also won Best Actor? Yeah, they did. Guess who their lead actor was? Hold on to your seats. It was Joshua Revilla. Yeah, the toughest critics said that his performance in that movie was on par with Al Pacino in The Godfather. I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. Still trying to wrap my head on what I just saw. Someone tapped me on my shoulder. It was Inigo Soriano. And my golly, he was now a certified businessman. He said that he wanted to do some business with me, as we discussed business over a sumptuous dinner at the 17 restaurant. That's an inside joke. We'll get that later. I went ahead to compliment the chef, and I was told that the chef just earned her 3rd Michelin star. And by stars, it was Laika de Guzman, a 3 Michelin star chef. You know, I should have known. She always was one of the top people in our TLE classes back in the day. As we continued with our meeting, we were met with some programmers, which were Inigo's usual tech partners. It was Rosel Villafuente and Luis Borja. You know, it made sense, because from the day that I met them, I often found them to be the poster people for the thingamajigs, doodads, and the computers and whatnot. I looked them up, and it's not just them. Jillian Lim was also one of the more famous graphic designers out there, siding with small businesses and making them famous. And apparently, Adrian Chinhin was also a web designer, making the most aesthetically looking websites on the internet. Isam Legaspi also appeared as a very successful IT and a world-renowned streaming artist. It's just amazing that there are a lot of guys that I know who made it big in the tech industry. In the same restaurant, I happened to run into a good friend of mine, Martina Protasio. I asked her what she was busy with these days. She said that she now owns a consulting firm for startup businesses. She always had a good knack for making big decisions for the class before, and if I know anything, it wouldn't take long before her company becomes #1 in the industry. And here's another thing. Cody Hardio is one of her financial advisors for the firm. She told me that with him, they've never made a bad decision in their careers. Ever. I always knew that Cody was the real math wizard in the class. Back in the day, Cody would always finish first in our math CPERCs. And you know, there was always a debate if the answer was, let's say, 5 or 7. Tapos nakaupo lang ako doon ng tahimik. Kasi 80 or 100 or 500 pa yung sagot ko. But, you know, I would always be grateful to him because he would always help me in those problems. But you know, if I would die of solving math problems or reshooting this whole speech all over again, Rowan Gammon would take care of the paperwork as a mortician. I would be in good hands. After a long night's sleep, I suddenly remembered that I had to attend the seminar. Dragging my sleepy self towards the seminar room, drowsily looking for a seat and finally sitting down. When the first speaker took his place in front of the room, he dramatically started with a quote, a familiar quote that we discussed during our homeroom time before. I sat up, craning my neck to see who the speaker was. He looked very familiar. I started reading the list of speakers of the program, and lo and behold, it was Kurt Canlas. He shared so many great ideas, but now that he is a teacher, I would tell everyone here right now that he is one of, low-key, the smartest people I have ever met in my life. We would prepare history presentations in our AP class before, but when we had him, we knew that we had it in the bag. He was really, really great about history. He taught very well, very articulate and eloquent. Now, Reggie Lee was also there, giving more specific advice in the psychological side of things, like the activities we could try to be more productive and increase morale. And with that, it was higher than ever. After that, I happened to be watching TV when I saw CJ Lumibao on the news. He built the new diversion roads to lessen heavy traffic in our country. I know that sounds insane, I know. But the fact that he pulled it off, Where we live? Here in the Philippines. Hats off from 2021 me to 2036 CJ. Then in the next article, Ave Holgado appeared. He made a much cleaner and more efficient engine that is suitable for all kinds of vehicles. That's probably why cars 15 years from now seemed a lot more eco-friendly. Coincidentally, after the news, it was the broadcast mass. Kian Pareja was now the Minister of Church. You know, I see that and I believe it. Because honestly, he never had any beef with anybody. He wanted to be nice, and so he was, if I would say so myself. Shortly after, I switched it to the next channel. Then there was a man dancing there. He danced like Michael Jackson, moved a little lighter than him. He was so dynamic in his movements, he floated like a butterfly, like Muhammad Ali. It was Miggy Naraha. The way that he presented himself was outstanding. He was the next big thing in the industry. Fortunately, I didn't dance while watching him because I know that if I danced, I would look terrible. And then after that, there was a medical podcast type of thing on TV. I had time, so my curiosity led me to watch the whole thing, but usually I don't. There was all the info about gynecology and obstetrics. Then they welcomed their guest OBGYN. I looked and just blurted out, Bernice? Yes, it truly was Bernice Lacson. Whenever she was asked what she wanted to be in life, she would always say, to be an OBGYN. And I have to tip my hat to her, because to be involved in childbirth, which is a miracle all on its own, is amazing. But I have to warn you, babies might bite. Unfortunately, the next day I had my flight going back to France, because when Judy calls, you just go. And I know that there's that constant fear of flying for me. But then, when I knew that Juliana Dano was piloting my plane, my God, I was relieved. She always was a person that I could trust and one of the sharpest and smartest people that I know. Life is like a book. It would depend on the decisions and the actions that we would do if it would be a long or a short book. But at the end of the day, is destiny really something written? Or something for us to write? You make your own stories, everyone.
Oh my, those are wonderful prophecies that you have mentioned upon us, Matthew.
Prophecies are curious things, but I'm sure we will all work hard to make them happen.
And I truly believe that the fulfillment of the wondrous prophecy would really be possible. Because there are people who believe in us and never doubted our capabilities as a student, a child, a friend, and an individual.
To speak words of thanksgiving in behalf of the whole batch, let us listen to this speech to be delivered by Miss Bernice Ann D. Lacson.
Bago ang lahat, isang mainit na pagbati ang nais kong iparating sa aking mga kamag-aral. Bakit nga ba ito ang unang sumagi sa isipan ko? Hindi ba't isa itong malaking tagumpay para sa ating lahat na nakayanan at nalampasan natin ang ikasampung baitang ng ating pag-aaral? Hayaan ninyong gamitin ko ang pagkakataong ito upang maiparating sa inyo ang lubos kong pasasalamat at paghanga sa pagiging porsigido, katatagan, at kakayanan na maisagawa ang lahat ng mga gawaing iniatang sa atin ng ating mga guro upang marating natin ang sandaling ito ng ating paglalakbay bilang mag-aaral. Di mapagkakailang dugot pawis ang inilaan ng bawat isa sa atin upang maging handa sa panibagong antas na ating haharapin. Sadyang naging mahirap ang prosesong ating dinanas sa pag-aaral. Ngayong taon dahil sa ating nararanasang pandemya, kung kaya't naging malaki ang pagbabago sa sistema ng ating edukasyon. Hindi man tayo nagkaroon ng pisikal na interaksyon, mas mapalad pa rin tayo na napagtagumpayan natin ang hamon ng pagbabago. Subalit hindi natin dapat kalimutan na hindi magiging posible ang lahat kung wala ang mga taong nagsilbing instrumento at gabay upang matapos natin ang sekundarya. Kaya't sa pagkakataong ito, sa ngalan ng aking mga kamag-aral, ay nais ko pong ihatid sa inyo ang aming taos-pusong pasasalamat sa pagiging bahagi ng aming paglalakbay na ito. Una sa lahat, sa Diyos na pinagwalan ng lahat ng karunungan. Sa pag-iingat niya sa aming kalusugan sa kabila ng bantang panganib sa ating kapaligiran. At sa lahat ng mga biyayang aming natanggap. Heto po kami ngayon na dahil sa mga pagpapalang iyan ay sama-samang haharap sa panibagong hamon ng buhay bilang mag-aaral. Salamat po, Panginoon. Ngayon naman po ay hayaan ninyong iparating namin ang lubos na pasasalamat sa aming mga butihing guro na nagsilbing frontliners ng karunungan sa panahon na ito ng pandemya. Hindi sila nagpahuli maging sa larangan ng teknolohiya bilang medium ng pagtuturo. Salamat sa pagbabahagi sa amin ng inyong karunungan, sa pagtatiga upang kami ay matuto, at ang inyong pagiging malikhain na pumukaw ng aming interes na makinig sa talakayan. Hindi lang din kayo nagsilbing guro, subalit ginampanan nyo rin ang pagiging pangalawang magulang sa amin habang kami ay nag-aaral sa JASMS. At lalong-lalo na sa walang pag-iimbot ng pagmamahal na inyong ipinadama sa amin. Salamat po, JASMS teachers! Aking pinasasalamatan ang pamunuan ng PWU-JASMS na pinangungunahan ng aming University President na si Ginoong Marco M. Benitez sa pagpapatupad ng mga polisiya at panuntunan upang maging kawili-wili ang aming pag-aaral. Sa maayos na pagpapatupad ng sistema at alituntunin sa larangan ng kalusugan at kaligtasan hindi lamang ng mga mag-aaral, ngunit ng pangkalahatan. Hindi rin namin malilimutan ang ambag ng iba't ibang sangay ng paaralan, tulad ng register na nagsilbing tagapangalaga ng mahalagang records ng mga mag-aaral. Salamat Teacher Tina at Sir Tani sa pag-aayos ng mga dokumentong aming kinakailangan. Gayon din naman sa ating guidance counselor na palaging bukas ang palad sa pagtulong sa amin. Salamat po sa mga payo at panahon na ibinigay mo sa amin, Teacher Maricar. Nais ko ring banggitin ang tulong sa atin ng ating mga librarian sa pangunguna ni Ma'am Heidi Suan sa kanilang paggabay upang mapadali ang ating pagsasaliksik. Salamat kay Kuya Alfred, ang tagapangasiwa ng audiovisual na lagi naming takbuhan tuwing kailangan namin ng LCD, TV at HDMI. Sa kanyang walang sawang pagbigay ng internet password upang magamit namin sa aming aralin. Sa technical team na siyang abala sa usaping teknolohiya upang mapaganda pa ang aming mga programa, maliit man ito o malaki. Si Teacher Kat na nasa Principal's Office sa kanyang paggabay at pagtulong upang mapadali at mapabilis ang mga gawaing pang-administratibo. Sa ating bookstore custodian na si Teacher V, sa kanyang mahabang pasensya dala ng aming pangungulit, lalo na kapag kami ay naghahanap ng mga materyales na hindi available or ubos na sa bookstore. Sa cashier na lagi naming minamadali sa pagproseso ng aming mga bayarin. Isang pasasalamat din sa ating mga janitors na nangangalaga ng kalinisan ng paaralan at sa mga security guards na nagbabantay sa atin at sa paaralan upang mapanatili ang ating kaligtasan. Subalit higit sa lahat, may mga taong tuwirang umaakay, nagmamahal at kumakalinga sa atin sa lahat ng oras upang ating maabot ang ating kinilalagyan ngayon. Ibinigay sila ng may kapal upang maging makabuluhan ang ating buhay. Kulang ang salitang salamat upang maipabatid namin sa inyo inay, itay, mama, papa, mommy, daddy, kung gaano kami kapalad at kayo ang ibinigay sa amin bilang aming mga magulang. Maraming salamat po sa inyong kasipagan sa paghahanap buhay upang may maipangtustos kayo sa aming pag-aaral. Maraming salamat po sa inyong walang sawang pangangaral sa amin na kung minsan di namin ito napapahalagahan. Sana po sa kabila ng lahat ng ito ay hindi pa rin nababawasan ang inyong pagmamahal sa amin. Sa sandali pong ito sa aming mga magulang, tanggapin po ninyo ang aming munting handog na sumisimbolo ng aming pagmamahal at pasasalamat. Sa aking mga kamag-aral, ito na ang pagkakataon upang ialay sa ating mga magulang ang ating inihanda.
Once more, congratulations to all of us for a wonderful year that it was. This pandemic had changed the way we live our lives, but our hunger to explore ideas and create innovations did not change, and instead, it only grew bigger.
As we open another chapter in our lives as both individuals and students, let us remember that no matter how uncertain the road we have walked through, it is the journey that makes us stronger, bolder, and better as we head on to our destination.
Thank you once again for joining us on this momentous occasion. We have been your hosts, Joshua Ferdinand A. Revilla.
And Regine Lee. Let us all come together for the singing of the JASMS hymn to be conducted by Rowan Glenn G. Gamad. This will be followed by the singing of the PWU hymn to be conducted by Raven Laika M. de Guzman.
JASMS, oh yes, the school we love the best. JASMS, oh yes, we sing with a happy zest. Come, let us join together, children in friendship bound, growing, sharing, learning, alert in mind and body sound.